I'm reading from the book, The Greatest Lie on Earth, Proof That Our World is Not a Moving Globe, by Edward Hendry. Chapter 1. Samuel Rowbotham proved the earth is flat. Evidence that the earth is flat is all around us. For example, if the earth were round, then the curvature of the earth would be manifested in the physical landscape. But we do not see any curvature of the earth. The earth's circumference is purported to be 24,901 miles at the equator. That means that the horizon should drop from sight at the rate of 8 inches per mile distance squared. Samuel Burley Rowbotham, 1816 to 1884, who went by the nom de plume of Parallax, in 1881 explained the principle in his book Zetetic Astronomy, Earth Not a Globe. Quote, "If the earth is a globe and is 25,000 English statute miles in circumference, the surface of all standing water must have a certain degree of convexity. Every part must be an arc of a circle. From the summit of any such arc there will exist a curvature or declination of 8 inches in the first statute mile. In the second mile, the fall will be 32 inches. In the third mile, 72 inches, or 6 feet, as shown in the following diagram. In Cambridge County, England, there is an artificial canal called the Old Bedford. It is approximately 20 miles in length. Rowbotham arranged to have a boat with a flag on it that was exactly 5 feet above the surface of the water. The boat was rowed to Welney Bridge, which was exactly 6 statute miles in a straight line from Rowbotham, who had waded into the water. Rowbotham stood in the middle of the canal with a telescope exactly 8 inches above the surface of the water. In looking through the eyepiece of the telescope and observing the receding boat during the whole period required to sail to Welney Bridge, quote, "The flag and the boat were distinctly visible throughout the whole distance," close quote. If the earth were round, as it is supposed, the flag should not have been visible to Rowbotham. The boat and flag should have been 11 feet 8 inches below the horizon, as depicted in the diagram below. Rowbotham explains the depiction in the diagram above. Quote, "Let AB represent the arc of the water 6 miles long, and AC the line of sight. The point of contact with the arc would be at T, a distance of 1 mile from the observer at A. From T to the bridge at B would be 5 miles, and the curvature from T to B would be 16 feet 8 inches. The top of the flag on the boat, which was 5 feet high, would have been 11 feet 8 inches below the horizon T, and altogether out of sight. Such a condition was not observed." Close quote. Rowbotham was able to see the flag and boat for the entire 6-mile journey in the canal, all the way to the bridge, as depicted in the diagram below. The fact that Rowbotham was able to see the flag and boat for the entire 6 miles proves that the earth is flat. Rowbotham did many similar experiments at the canal that all proved that there was no curvature of the earth. The formula for the expected drop per mile is m squared times 8 equals d, where m is the number of miles from the observer at ground level, 8 is the number of inches dropped per mile squared, and d is the distance of the drop over the horizon. The above equation assumes an Earth with a circumference of 24,901 miles. The validity of the formula m squared times 8 equals d can be verified by using the Pythagorean theorem. Under the Pythagorean theorem, the length of any side of a right triangle can be determined if one knows the length of the other two sides. The formula for the Pythagorean theorem is a squared plus b squared equals c squared, where a, b, and c are the 3 sides of a right triangle. In the graphic below, this author used the Pythagorean theorem to determine the drop below the horizon at a distance of 50 miles. The answer using the Pythagorean theorem is exactly the same answer through the formula of m squared times 8 equals d. To find the drop from the horizon at a distance of 50 miles, we would take the miles squared multiplied times 8 inches per our formula above, m squared times 8 equals d. Assuming a 50-mile distance, we get 50 squared times 8 equals 20,000 inches, 1,666 feet. Converting the 20,000 inches, 1,666 feet, to miles, we get a drop of 0.32 miles. The radius of the Earth is determined to be 3,963 miles. The radius of the Earth is determined through the formula of r equals c divided by the product of 2 times pi, where pi is 3.14159, r is the radius, and c is the circumference. The number pi is a mathematical constant that is based upon the ratio of a circle's circumference to its diameter. To arrive at pi, simply divide a circle's circumference by its diameter. All circles, no matter their size, have the same ratio of their circumference to their diameter of 3.14159. Pi is an irrational number that never ends. 3.14159 only carries pi out to the 5th decimal place, but it in fact continues indefinitely. If the circumference of the Earth at the equator is taken to be, as alleged, 24,901 miles, that would mean that the Earth's radius is 24,901 divided by the product of 3.14159 times 2, which equals 3,963 miles. For some reason, the alleged radius of the Earth is published by many authorities to be 3,959 miles. That, however, cannot be correct, according to the geometric equation for determining the radius of a circle. This author will use the figure of 3,963 miles obtained from the equation for the radius of the Earth. The difference of 4 miles between the two figures does not make a material difference in our conclusions. Using the Pythagorean theorem, a squared plus b squared equals c squared, we can easily determine the length of the hypotenuse, side C. Side A is the radius of the Earth, 3,963 miles. Side B is 50 miles, which means that side C is 3,963.32 miles. If we subtract the known radius of the Earth from the length of the hypotenuse, side C, we can confirm that the drop below the horizon at a distance of 50 miles from a supposedly globular Earth is 0.32 miles. That is the exact same figure we obtained using the formula m squared times 8 equals d, thus confirming the validity of that formula. Below is a chart that gives the results of the equation m squared times 8 equals d for the expected drop per mile, assuming an Earth with a circumference of 24,901 miles. M is the number of miles from the observer at ground level. 8 is the number of inches dropped per mile squared. And D is the distance of the drop over the horizon.